えーっと
Let us see how the rope was cut. The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope.
お
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
おおでナイフ
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
うんナイフで切ったとでついでにトビ取る
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
大丈夫なのかトビを連れて行くああ乗ってる一緒になんかもう皮がぷよんぷよんというかダルダルの犬種だな
Search, Toby.
おおトビーになってるこれがなんか突っかかってるわ匂いの跡が微妙にしかないなおこれで走れるかあ走れる頑張れ頑張れトビーおこの小屋か
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
でもう一丁線が出てるお
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
で後ろ側に終わりか
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
おかしなまずは小屋あれか
This hook might be useful.
なんだ。
This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
旅行カバン。
Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
使い道。怪しい場所を確認する。で、井戸か。お？
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
バケツを取ってさっきのフックをフックはどこにつけるんだ？使うでいいのは調べる。
The wheel handle is old and rusty. It seems to be used infrequently. If only I had something with which I could lift that object.
フックじゃないの？
If only I had something with which I could lift that object.
フックはどこにつけるんだ？あ、これか。背景に溶け込んでて見えなかった。レッツゴー。うまい。
Silverware.
お？
This is hardly a coincidence. The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
ん？なんで隠したんだ？盗んでないぞ。うん。おっとっと。
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
これだけ？
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
その通り。これだけ？
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
謎が深まるばかりだな。そうだな、部屋の調査がまだできてないんだな。なんか見逃してる？写
A
真？
hunter's cabin. A hunting scene.
ハンティング。
trapper's hut. A hunter scene. A hunter scene.
これだけハンティングしてるんだったら、この銃を使えばよかったんじゃ。あ、でもこの部屋に飾ってあるから無理か。
A fur trader's cabin. A deer hunt. The Brackenstall family appear to be preoccupied with hunting. This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
で、ここだよな。何か見逃してない？なんだなんだ？ええ。
An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France.
あ、ここか。
A bottle of wine is missing here. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware.
オッケー。こっちの部屋は何だろうな。何を見ようとしてる？お、これか。写真。
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one?
これは？あ、裏かな。
So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
写真撮っちゃった。これだけ？なんか結構いっぱいなんかあったけど。お、ランドルおなじみ。これナイフと紐かな。船員が背景にいる。あとはオーストラリアの出身。ロンドンには知人がいない。到着後、ユースタス教とすぐに結婚したと。夫人はジブラルタルロック号の船乗りの誰かと知り合い？急に出てきた。ジブラルタルロック号。ちょっと今は。これはなんかくっつくかな。あ、くっついた。ランドルに罪を着せた。ランドルの一味。 いや、ランドル一味だったら普通に銀食器盗むだろうな。あとはワインかな。これはなんだ、急に。ジブラルダルロック号っていうのはどこにも出てきてないもんな。おう。犯人が分かった。銀食器発見。くっつくの。こっちか。強盗が動機。捨てた銀食器を後ほど取り戻す計画。強盗に見せかけた。こっちかな、今のところ。お、殺人者の訪問。ユーサス教はあの晩訪問者うちの一人に殺された。ブラッケンソル夫人を縛り付けたのも同じ人物だ。男は背が高くて力がある。お、今んところ知人はいないかな。あら。ちょ。あ、これか。ジブラルタルロック号。ここで名前が出てくるのか。こっちに来る途中に友達ができたのか。繊維を見つける。ほう。これで一旦帰ると。1893年。おっと、ちょっと間違った。93年。インド、ニュージーランド、そしてオーストラリア経由した後6ヶ月ぶりに戻ってきたと。ほう。メアリー・フレイザ
Here it is.
ー。
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
専門家。ウィギンズの仕事。
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
なんかやってたのにいいの？
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
なんと3時間で。
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
お、机の上？こっちか？
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
ロンドンに11月12日に到着。10月17日ロンドン出発。5月17日。お？あ、到着してるからいいのかな、これで。で、ここに乗ってる人。あ、こっちのやつと。5月23。どういうことだ？さっきのでよかったのかな？これで、あ、いるじゃん、ウィリアム。
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
でも、ハーバート・ウィッテントンもいるな。
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
あら。
I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
何の関係もない。あ、全部調べていけばいいか。ハービービー。あれ、いないか。ジャック・クロッカ
Mr.
ー。
Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
びっくり。これで終わり？
This list shows the senior officer.
なんだびっくりって。あ、容疑者としてってことか。あとは、ダンカン、ピーター、ネイル、ジョージ、フランク、マードック。いないね。ハロルド、 お、トーマス・ウォー
This
カー。
officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
お、ウィッテントン。
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
ダンフォード。ヘンリー。
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
チャールズはどこにいた？チャールズ行方不明。これか。
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
お、クロッカー。
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
容疑者を探す官僚。クロッカーを訪問する。お、どこにいる？
Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
しばらくして。
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
澄んだ眼差し。お。あれ、何もない。汚れは関係ないかな。新聞紙のインク？綺麗なブーツ。お、ナイフ。あとなんか一個。お、頑丈な体格。
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
船乗りの結び目。
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
クロッカー船長。年齢40代。もう家を出る前に長官を読みブーツを磨いた。クロッカー船長。嘘か、証言は嘘かもしれない。クロッカーの関わり。彼は嘘をついている。僕が探していると聞いて直ちに現れた。罪の意識の現れだ。なんだっけ、誠実な澄んだ目みたいな感じに書いてたな。クロッカー船長はシャープ号に乗ってた。僕と対決することを恐れなかった。自信に満ちた態度だった。ホームズたちの話聞いてたら、船員たちは嘘ついて、クロッカー船長をかばうでしょみたいな感じだったな。船長が犯人。これはあれ、もう帰れない。帰れた。これだともう繋がんないもんな。船長が殺人犯。クロッカー船長を逮捕する。ジャック・クロッカーが殺人者だ。彼とその共犯者であるブラッケンストール夫人は罰せられるだろう。自己防衛のための殺害だった。ジャック・クロッカーはアルコール依存症の暴力を振るう男から女性を守った。謎は解けたが、事実は公開しないことに決めた。警察に知らせる必要はない。そうだな。2つのワイン。なんだろう。キャッキャ楽しんでるところに、アルコール依存症の人が飛び込んできて、夫人をボーンって殴って、あざができて、何すんだって止めて、殺す気はなかったけど殺しちゃったかな。方面かな。
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear, and it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
なおおちゃ
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker.
Phew.
I wished only to test your sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
おお最後すげえ適当に3人のゴロつきが犯人ですよって言ったな。ああ、後悔に出るから最後にちょっと会っておきたかったっていうので会いに行ったところにちょっとタイミング悪く出てきちゃったんだな。それで暴力バーンって振るわれてなんじゃこりゃってやって、殺害してしまったと。なんか良かったな最後。航海に行って、まあ1年後戻ってきて、そのなんだろう、ブラッケンストール夫人を愛しているのを証明してくれみたいな言ってましたね。アルコール依存症の暴力を振るう男から女性を守った真相は秘密にしておくことに決めた。ではどうでしょうか。 OK。16分の16、船長は殺人犯。結構サクッと終わるストーリーだったな。個人成績中立的なヒット。これが4つ目の事件か。次5個目。旧植物園の一件。なんか難しそうだな。 よし。では戻って、はい、戻ってきました。第4の事件終了でございます。なんだろうな。スススススッといったら普通に解けた事件でしたね。その3つ、一番最初、2つ目、3つ目ってなかなかこう難しくなってきて、いきなり4つ目でポンって簡単になったんで、次の5個目の事件がかなり難しいのかなとちょっと心配になります。はい。それでは今回はここまで。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価、コメント等お待ちしております。それでは次回です。